Tonight, we start the show with some news we were not expecting. The news impacts us here at WTOP 10 TV and our SUNY Oswego campus community. Tonight will be our last night on air, and tomorrow will be the last nightly news broadcast for the remainder of the academic year until further notice.
This comes after Governor Cuomo's press release this afternoon, where he made a public statement announcing all SUNY and CUNY colleges will move to a distant learning model beginning on March 19th. Good evening, my name is Deanna Brown.
And I'm Danny Hernandez. SUNY Oswego President Deborah Stanley sent a campus-wide email explaining the campus's contingency plan just 2 hours after Governor Cuomo's press hearing on the coronavirus outbreak. President Stanley acknowledges there are no cases on the Oswego or Syracuse campus, but will suspend all face-to-face instructions. Students are asked to leave campus for spring break and take any materials they may need to finish the semester in an online setting. The email says they are seeking clarification about the duration of an online instruction.
The college will remain open for normal business operations, and students who work on campus will receive communication about their employment during this time. A student dining hall worker says they received an email that says dining hall management is aware of President Stanley's email but does not know what answers they will have for their student staff in terms of their jobs and schedules. They also note this is nothing that they have ever had to deal with before.
The aftermath of Deborah Stanley's email left students around campus confused. We talked to a few students who expressed concern about the uncertainty surrounding the email regarding student housing and the effectiveness of transitioning core classes online.
I feel like it was very last minute and it was very vague. I think a lot of people still have a lot of questions, but I understand also that it's kind of an issue that no one has really dealt with before. So
they would prefer for you not to come back, but they don't really say you cannot come back. So to me, it's like, how is that going to really work out?
As an engineering major, you can't really study engineering over online or anything. You want to be in class, you want to be physical with the parts and everything.
Students who leave campus during spring break are advised to stay off campus until further notice. Students should bring any belongings needed for an extended period of time, and instructions for moving off campus will be issued at a later date. So obviously this is a really upsetting situation for all of us here at Oswego, WTOP. As somebody that works in res life, I really recommend everybody just to be kind, whether you're a student, professor, and staff for Oswego. This is a hard time for everyone, so please just be nice to everyone.
With that in mind, I will most definitely love my WTOP family. It's been an amazing journey that we've all shared together, and I can't wait till next semester so we can do this again. In addition to his statement on SUNY and CUNY colleges, Cuomo says New York State employees who are quarantined will be paid while they take time off. The state will also start contracting with private labs for additional testing. New York is the second most impacted state from the country, with 212 positive cases and no deaths. 39 of the New York cases were reported today. Positive cases are not currently reported in central New York. The nearest location to our region is Saratoga Springs, with 2 confirmed cases.
New York Attorney General Letitia James ordered Silver Edge and Dr. Shirelle Shellman to cease and desist selling products as a cure to coronavirus. Currently, there is no FDA-approved vaccine. The microparticle colloidal silver generator retails for about $250. According to the National Institute of Health, colloidal silvers can be damaging. The OAG will continue to monitor businesses for potential scams. If you're a victim of a scam, report the incidents to OAG.
Despite the rising threat of coronavirus, the annual Syracuse St. Patrick's Day Parade will still take place. Parade Committee President Janet Higgins says we are a go. After receiving a New York health permit, Governor Cuomo weighed in by claiming communities with few or no confirmed cases should be able to host such events. Onondaga County North Syracuse officials plan to stop the parade, which draws thousands of people.
Are you a fan of Dungeons & Dragons? Well, the theater department here at SUNY Oswego is working on something new, and reporter Michael Jean will tell you all about it.
These performers are hard at work as they are rehearsing for the premiere of the fantasy action play, She Kills Monsters. In the approaching production of She Kills Monsters, Waterman Theater dives into a new, fantastical, thrilling world filled with adventure and unique characters. In King Gwen action fantasy play, it consists of many references from the popular board game Dungeons & Dragons. As the theater department is preparing, the costume designers, the scene shop crew, the lighting crew, the stage managers, and more are working hard to bring the fantasy world to life on stage. Maya Brown, director, explains the plot of the play.
Yeah, so D&D is a major part of this show. Dungeons and Dragons for the noobs. But I think tapping into this culture of D&D and using it as a way to tell the story of this young girl who tragically died is really pretty beautiful. And I'm excited to share that story with our audience.
Cast members share their thoughts on the meaning of the play.
Definitely. Like I said, the LGBTQ theme, in 1995, people were way more homophobic than they are now, and there's still a lot of homophobic people today. And so that whole message of being accepting of people, especially within your family, and also the whole message of connecting with somebody who has passed that you didn't really get to know, that you wanted to. It's just a really cool show filled with a bunch of different themes that are really important.
Well, like, you could tell people worked really hard on putting this together, and it's going to show, and I think people are really going to enjoy it.
Michael Jean reporting.
She Kills Monsters is set to premiere on April 16th and run until the 25th. You can get your ticket at the box office in Tyler Hall or online.
Coming up later tonight, disgraced former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, 23 years in prison. More on his remarks from this morning.
And you may have more time this season to file your taxes. More on the proposal from House Democrats to the IRS.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team meteorologist Bethany Strong.
Out here in a light jacket and a dress, so we have some mild and moderate temperatures right now. 34 degrees, northeast winds for the rest of tonight. And looking at our radar, we have some light blips of what may look like snow, but it's actually virga, which is some rain that's not going to hit the surface, but it is showing up on our radar. After the break, tune in for your future cast with some rain in the forecast, and I'll see you after the break.
Bethany, I'm so sad. This is your first and last broadcast of the semester.
I know. I was heartbroken when I got the email, so I'm just keeping it together. I hope everybody stays healthy and safe, whether they stay on campus or move off campus. So I'm just, I'm honestly heartbroken about it. So
definitely.
It was a pleasure to work with you, honestly.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the weather?
I'm actually excited for the weather, despite the coronavirus and all that scare going on. We are looking at a nice weekend, a nice clear weekend. Looking right here, as we can see on the TV, there's an Oswego sunset provided by a student here, Tommy. Thanks for the picture. He unfortunately thinks this is the last sunset picture he'll have for this semester, so hopefully not, but it's nice that he shared it with us for tonight. Looking at our highlights for this weekend, what to expect, we're going to have rain around 50 degrees Thursday and Friday, but a clear weekend, slightly colder, and then a slight warm up at the start of the week. And looking at our current radar, as I mentioned before when I was a little chillier outside, 34 degrees, and there's that virga I was talking about with the white, but it actually won't hit the surface, so something to look forward to. And as I mentioned before, with that rain coming up this weekend, it's actually this far away, and it will get here by tomorrow night and slowly drift across the U.S. and impact Oswego. So that's actually a fun fact that it can travel that quickly across the U.S., as you can see. And looking at our current local area, 33 as I said, around 30 for most of the area. Later on in the night, we're going to have some clouds covering the area, impacting, sorry about that, our morning commute Thursday, light clouds around 33, no precipitation. As we move into the afternoon on Thursday, we can see a little chance of rain down here and scattered around the area, so not specifically Cleveland that we're looking at, but just scattered around the area depending on where the precipitation accumulates in the clouds enough. With our little slight warm-up Thursday, 8:30 p.m., around 50, high 40s, something to look forward to. Our clouds are going to increase overnight as our system moves in, temperatures around 45, and we can see the system start to develop scattered showers beginning before the main event. 3 a.m. Friday, and then lucky for us, right for our Friday morning commute, this nice heavy rain, around 55 degrees for most of the area, 50 to 55. So at least it'll be warm, but it will be wet. So make sure you pack a jacket and an umbrella, and then that'll clear out, fortunately, by noon. So we'll have a nice start to our weekend. With that event, let's look at some winds. Currently 5 to 10 miles per hour. Again for tomorrow morning, nice calm, slight clouds, but that's about it. Thursday, we're going to see a pickup in our winds, 9, 10 miles per hour for most of the area, 10, 13 if you're looking at Lyons, closer to Wayne County. I'm sorry about that. And then we're going to see a pickup in the area for winds, 15 miles per hour as that storm develops and starts moving in with that increase in scattered rain throughout the area. And then an increase, a significant increase, 25 to 30 miles per hour. Jefferson and Lewis County are going to have a higher increase in their winds as they are on the east end of the lake. But with that, our winds are going to stay around 20 miles per hour throughout the day, even though that rain is going to push out after noon. And looking at our 7-day forecast, rain for Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday, a nice warm up and clear skies with some sun. Make sure everybody stay healthy as they travel for spring break. And we'll be back with more news and sports after the break.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Disgraced former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison. He faced between 5 and 29 years in jail after last month's convictions on first-degree criminal sexual acts and third-degree rape. This morning, Weinstein addressed the court for about 20 minutes before the judge handed down the sentence. He said, quote, "I really feel remorse for the situation. I feel it deeply in my heart. I will spend my time really caring and really trying to be a better person." The charges are based on a testimony in a New York courtroom by Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann, who both spoke at the sentencing hearing. The 67-year-old has been in state custody since the verdict and has had several health issues. Weinstein also faces felony sex assault charges in Los Angeles.
Bernie Sanders is dealt a major blow as Joe Biden wins key state of Michigan on Super Tuesday 2, making the path to Democratic nomination a little clearer. Mary Maloney has more.
Joe Biden building on his Super Tuesday dominance, winning Mississippi, Missouri, and the big prize of the night, Michigan. Michigan is a key Midwestern swing state. President Trump won in 2016. Then in 2018, a blue wave swept over the state. Now it's considered to be a bellwether of where blue-collar white and African-American voters lean.
We are solidly purple, and that's why no one should ever take Michigan for granted.
The Great Lakes state helping the former vice president pad his delegate lead while making the case he is the candidate to beat.
I'm defeating your president. You'll never have a better friend in the White House.
The result, a blow to Bernie Sanders, who won Michigan's primary 4 years ago and hoped to kick off a comeback.
We need to win every state in the country.
But the coronavirus crisis threatened to upstage Super Tuesday Part 2. Election workers sorted ballots wearing gloves, and both candidates canceled their planned rallies with supporters.
The last thing in the world we will ever want to do is put anybody in danger.
As the novel coronavirus impacts the United States, both campaigns are taking action and say they can lead in times of crisis as commander-in-chief. But now Sanders is also trying to prove to the public his campaign has a future. In Washington, I'm Mary Maloney.
In all, voters in 6 states participated in this second Super Tuesday: Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, Michigan, Idaho, and Washington.
The U.S. Treasury is considering pushing back the tax deadline due to the coronavirus as it continues to spread. The New York Times is reporting the Treasury and the White House have been discussing extending the tax season beyond April 15th. This comes as a House Democrat wrote to the Internal Revenue Service Commissioner as for an update on how the coronavirus outbreaks could impact the agency and its ability to provide taxpayers assistance and process returns. The Times reports that last week, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin says a delay has been discussed, but not something that they were considering at the moment.
Coronavirus fears fueled stock market losses, erasing all of Tuesday's gains. Those fears worsened as the World Health Organization designated the outbreak a pandemic. The Dow is now officially in bear market, meaning the market is 20% below its most recent high. The index reached the threshold today after closing down 5.9% at 1,465 points. The S&P 500 dropped 4.9% for the day, and the Nasdaq gave back 4.7%.
As the coronavirus outbreak continues, it's not only affecting lives across the nation. From local events to large-scale functions like music festivals, concerts, movie premieres are all being canceled and postponed. With countries like Italy going on lockdown to try and contain the spread of the virus, big gatherings across the globe are being affected. Some of the major gatherings being postponed or canceled due to the COVID-19 virus in the U.S. included Coachella, SXSW, and Tomorrowland Winter.
The coronavirus is not just a potential health threat, it's also playing havoc with your lifestyle. Many adjustments, some minor, some major, are now being taken because of the disease. John Lawrence reports.
The U.S. has just topped 1,000 cases of the coronavirus, and while that's still a relatively small number, it can be argued nearly everyone is affected by it.
This is new and unprecedented, certainly, in terms of the impact on our economy, as well as just how quickly this virus is spreading and how little we know about it.
The number of confirmed cases globally rises daily, and there's a ripple effect. Delta Airlines has expanded cleaning procedures, so has Target. It's increasing payroll hours in order to have more time spent cleaning its stores. Ben & Jerry's annual Free Cone Day is being pushed back. Festivals and large-scale events like Coachella are canceled or postponed. Some businesses, including Google, are asking employees to work from home, and some tourists overseas are finding themselves in virtual ghost towns.
All the squares and the restaurants, it's just absolutely deserted. Nobody around. I feel for them. I feel that the Italians are really, really struggling.
While here at home, the White House is trying to promote a sense of calm.
We're prepared and we're doing a great job with it, and it will go away.
Health officials admit it'll take time to get a better hold of the disease.
There's not enough people, there's not enough internal capacity, there's no surge capacity.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The coronavirus worldwide death toll is around 4,300.
Coming up in sports, Ben Gramato.
Ben, can you give us a quick preview?
Well, coming up in sports, both the NCAA and NBA have taken steps towards preventing the stop of the coronavirus. We'll have more after the break. You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News. Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Ben Gramato with your sports update. Due to the spread of COVID-19, the 2020 NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments will be played without fans in attendance. NCAA President Mark Emmett released a statement earlier today saying, quote, "While I understand how disappointing this is for all fans of our sports, my decision is based on the current understanding of how COVID-19 is progressing in the United States. The first 4 games at Dayton as well as the first 2 rounds in Cleveland were already to be played without fans after Ohio Governor Mike DeWine banned mass gatherings." Now moving over to Oswego sports, the Lakers men's lacrosse team fell to the Clarkson Golden Knights yesterday by a final score of 15-5. Clarkson jumped out to an early 5-0 lead and led 8-0 at halftime. The Lakers then responded with 4 goals in the third quarter, but trailed by 8 going into the fourth. Clarkson outscored Oswego 3-1 in the fourth to pull away late. The loss drops the Lakers to 3-1 overall on the year. The Lakers will play St. John Fisher College on Saturday at 3 p.m. As for the United States women's soccer team, well, the U.S. State Soccer Federation continues the ongoing battle over equal pay. The federation says that male players, quote, have more responsibility and, quote, requires a higher level of skill. Lawyers for the federation also wrote that the men's team brings in more revenue, and the USSF said the television viewership is greater for the men's games and brings in more broadcasting revenue. The suit, which was filed in March of 2019, will go to trial in May with the first hearing scheduled for March 30th. While the NCAA will play games without fans, the NBA has not yet reached a decision for the remainder of the season. The Golden State Warriors already announced that they will be playing games without fans after San Francisco put a ban on events with over 1,000 people. According to ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski, the Board of Governors are discussing playing without fans or potentially postponing the remainder of the NBA season. Now, the NBA is expected to reach a decision on how to carry out the remainder of the season tomorrow. Moving on, the Lakers taking on the Nets. The Lakers coming off back-to-back wins against the Bucks and the Clippers. First quarter, down by 7. A driving Spencer Dinwiddie finding DeAndre Jordan. And look at that replay. Dinwiddie to Jordan over Davis. But now LeBron on the steal. Lakers on the break. Look at this ball movement. Markieff Morris finding Avery Bradley to a driving Kyle Kuzma. And the Lakers will go up by 2 into the half. But now, second quarter, the Nets showing off. They have some pretty nice ball movement of their own. And Joe Harris finding Karis LeVert. And Brooklyn going up by 1. Lakers trailing by 3 late in this one. Anthony Davis for the tie. And he drills the three-pointer. Game tied at 102. Davis, a game-high 29 points. But later on, next possession for the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie in Avery Bradley's face for the go-ahead bucket. And Lakers one last possession here. James finding Davis in the corner for the win. No good. It goes off the back of the rim. And the Nets top the Lakers by a final of 104-102.
We have a little bit of breaking news during our show tonight. Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Manager Jerry Howland sent an announcement to students clarifying some information that was not clarified in President Stanley's email this afternoon. He says students do not need to remove all their belongings, and if you'd like to remain on campus, to complete your coursework remotely to contact a resident life and housing.
Guidance for athletic events and competitions will be based on policy coordination with the State University of New York and Campus Leadership Conference and Campus Leadership. On-campus events scheduled through April 13th are canceled and will provide updates on future events beyond that date.
Additionally, all student services offices are open and will be available to all students. They say you are able to reach out for the assistance if needed. With any more questions, you are asked to contact Dean of Students. Howland says we will be updating the COVID-19 webpage on SUNY Oswego's website. And with that being said, I'm really sad this is going to be the end of our broadcast semester, but it was great working with all 3 of you guys this semester.
Same.
And that's our report.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.